I like all kinds of trains. Steam, diesel, coal, elevated, bullet. I defy you to name a train that I don't like. Alright, Sheldon, let's try this one. Today we are taking a trip on the Children's Railway, and I can't help but think how happy both my dad and my eldest would be if they could be here. The nostalgia train runs on steam. There's coal in the tender that gets shoveled into the firebox, and as it burns, the hot gases travel forward through dozens of narrow metal tubes that are surrounded by water. The heat transfers through the walls into the water and turns it into a steam that builds up pressure in the boiler. The steam is directed into cylinders alongside the wheels, which contain pistons, and the action of the pistons converts that into rotation. That is the classic chugging sound that you hear. Each chug is a burst of that exhaust steam being released after it's done pushing the piston. The smoke you see, which is dark gray, happens when fresh coal is thrown in. The water level in the boiler also has to be constantly maintained, so the fireman and the driver are balancing fuel, air, and water together at all times. It's a surprisingly manual and almost musical process. The Children's Railway, opened in 1948, is 11.2 kilometers of narrow-gauge railway running through the Buda Hills in Districts 2 and 12. It's the world's longest railway line where commercial services are carried out entirely by children. 4th, 5th, and 6th graders must meet the academic standard of a grade average of at least 4.0 out of 5 and have parental and school approval plus basic medical clearance. Training includes Friday classroom sessions in the city center and Saturday practical sessions out on the railway. Once qualified, they rotate through all the roles: ticket seller, switch operator, announcer, ticket inspector, etc. They do have adult supervision, and their performance is graded. The train runs every day, so children do miss school, but their weekday shift entries in the service logbook serve as a formal excuse note. They turned off the lights in the tunnel. Watch for the sparks. So is it weird? The short answer, yes. Outsiders sometimes find it odd, but the reaction is more fascination than outrage. A number of children's railways exist from across former Soviet and Eastern Bloc countries. Rail being a central part of those economies, railways were set up to teach practical skills, kind of like an Iron Curtain scout troop. After the Cold War, Hungary decided the values being instilled were worth preserving. Hungarians themselves treat it as a beloved institution and a point of national pride. Selling tickets is an exercise in maths, operating switches, a lesson in physics, and welcoming foreign visitors, an English class. It's also considered an honor, and one with a 75-year track record of happy alumni. But the railway isn't the only thing we're doing today, so let's hop off and climb up the hill to the top of the Zugligeti Chairlift. We saw some pretty gnarly things on our climb to the top. We had hoped to climb all the way up to the Elizabeth Lookout Tower, but when we found out it was closed, we hung out with some friends instead, and then headed over to the chairlift. The chairlift climbs 262 meters over a 1,040-meter route in about 12 minutes. Going up, you get close-up views of two dramatic rock formations. Coming down, like we did, you're treated to a sweeping panorama. The idea was born in 1933 when engineer Hantos István proposed building a cable lift between Zugliget and Jánosság. He did receive a permit and made plans, but nothing came of it. In the early 40s, the city's transit company took up the idea again, had plans drawn up, but the outbreak of World War II stopped construction. After the war, the entire cable car network was planned for Budapest. None of that was built either. In 1967, things finally moved, and the chairlift opened on August 20th, 1970. To name the new contraption, the district held an open competition. Tens of thousands of name suggestions poured in, some of them truly bad. The actual winner of the competition was tweaked into Libegő, which is the word we use today. But tens of thousands of people submitting their name suggestions means that it was popular before the chairlift even opened. Engineers considered multiple configurations. Ultimately, they chose the single cable twin open seat design for economic reasons. So you get to dangle your feet in the open air rather than sitting in a snug gondola, but it was worth it. Not a single accident has occurred on the chairlift in its history, so it's officially considered Budapest's safest mode of transport. It is truly a hidden gem, a breezy and beautiful 12-minute ride where you can touch the treetops, hear the birds, and drink in the view. We hope you enjoyed the trip, and if you did, be sure to like the video, give us a comment below, share us with your friends, and subscribe so you never miss any of the good stuff.